How to improve vocal range. Well, again, this is another one of those subjects that's really elusive, and I've seen a lot of tutorials on this, and I want to just kind of share how I increase my range, and hopefully this will help you. Now, there's a tendency to think of, if I just do this one scale and I stretch my voice enough in this scale, that eventually, if I can do it just before I feel like I'm going to crack or break, or before my throat gets sore, and then I can go and take a breath or break and then come back and do it again, that's good vocal health and technique for practicing how to stretch your vocal range. Well, in fact, it's not. I want to recap a couple of the things we've discussed already. Again, guys, remember, we have to have good diaphragmatic support. If you don't know what that is, please see my video on diaphragmatic support. We have to have a good relaxation response in the chest, the neck, and the throat. We have to have an open throat technique, or relaxing the throat but keeping it nice and open to where there's a lot of agility and space in the throat itself. And let me explain why scales can be a little problematic, and some other exercises that we can do to come alongside and buttress or support scale exercises. Now, the first thing is when we think of a scale, let's just do a simple triad scale. Right? Because we think of it incrementally. We're sort of thinking of like a stair step, right? If climb this stair. Oh, climb this stair. Oh, no. Oh, I got to the top step. Okay, now I'm going to run back down the stairs, and we move up. And then all of a sudden we think, gosh, if we just stretch that as high as we can, then everything's going to line up. And if we do that enough times, it's just all going to work out. Well, Einstein's definition of insanity is trying the same experiment over and over again and expecting a different result. And you're going to find that if you try that same experiment over and over again, you're probably not going to increase your range very much at all, if at all. And there's a good chance you could hurt yourself if you push yourself too hard because you want it so bad that you start to strain and you start to lose control of your voice. So a good way around this is doing some stretching exercises via sliders. So in a slider, I want you to be able to feel the sensation of, by the way, the notes in the middle are important. I don't want to say they're not. In fact, they're the stepping stones that get us up and out of our range. But I'm going to discuss something about vowel modifications in a minute. But if we do a slider, we don't get caught on, right? Now, eventually we want to do both. We don't want to do one or the other. And scales are actually better for us from intonation and pitch and understanding vowel modifications. Now, vowel modifications, the vowel itself or the feeling in the throat of the vowel, it changes. So E goes a little towards E, like lead. Now let's do those as a slider. Notice there, I'm going, I'm changing the vowel. E8, E8. Now, by the way, if you notice, I went all the way to a D5, and I've got plenty more range to go. For all you baritones and tenors out there, you probably didn't even come close to that. You probably ended around an A or a B. You sopranos, if you were doing this up the octaves, you're probably done too. And altos, you were done already too, probably around the B6. So anyway, but I want to point this out that you notice you don't hear any register break. You notice you don't see any strain at all, right? I'm not killing myself to get to these notes. I'm giving myself permission, like we just discussed in one of my previous videos. I'm giving myself permission to hit, how to sing a high note. Well, this is how you get to those notes. So, or an octave. Right? You can hear me go up and out through the passaggio, which is the passageway break or the register break, seamlessly in and out of those sounds. Now, if you're trying to do this for the very first time, I recommend you do it really lightly, super small. Until you can grow this area safely, and then little by little you can lean in or add more brightness in the timbre or more resonance to the sound to start to really stretch and increase your voice. Now, once you've done that, you can come back and do scales, a little out of pitch, sorry about that. Right? You can kind of go in and out of the passaggio. Remember too though, like I said, you can get caught on the chord or caught in the idea of having a stair step and not know how to release from one stair step to the next. So the sliders kind of relieve that tension first, and then you can come back and get the better intonation using the scale itself. Okay, hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Until next time, please like and subscribe to my channel if you like what you heard, and we have more coming on your way. Peace out.